Hey y'all, it's Lauren. This week, I've finally got my sister, Weezy, on the pod. This is the Chicks and Dip podcast. What's up, y'all? It's Lauren back with another episode of the Chicks and Dip podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I am recording this after I have done my interview with my sister. She's finally on the show, and it is such a good episode. Y'all are really in for a treat. I'm so excited. But we talked for a really long time, so I'm gonna actually skip over things that I've been thinking about over chips and dip, because honestly, me and Rachel covered it. We talked for like 2 hours. I'm just so excited that she finally got to come on here, and she's been on the show before. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about what happened with that. Yeah, so I hope that y'all enjoy it, and I do have a little housekeeping thing before we get into the interview with Raquel. Patreon. I'm so excited that the Patreon is up. A few of you have already subscribed, and that means a lot to me. So thank you so much. If that's you, you know. Right now, there is an episode with RP Night up, and whenever this episode drops, there will also be my drag vlog. I actually finished editing it last night, and it was such a fun edit. I had literally 5 hours of footage to cut. It took forever, literally an entire day, but I got it done, and it is just a fun video. Like, Kylie Cloud is just a trip, and so we had fun, and the transformation of me was just freaking crazy. So again, reminder, you can subscribe to the Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/the Chicks and Dip podcast, or you can just go to our social media. The link is in our bio on there. You can't miss it. But it's $5 a month, and you get minimum 3 bonus episodes. Sometimes it'll be podcast episodes. Sometimes it'll be vlogs, whatever. It's kind of a mix of awesome extra content, but it's really fun stuff that I want to have a community where the people who are like, big fans of the show and big supporters of me, like, y'all mean the world to me. So I want to create a community that's just for y'all. So please check it out if you're interested. $5 a month goes directly to me, and that adds up. I mean, that's a huge way to directly support me if you've been listening to the show and you like what you hear. So thank you so much for subscribing, and please check it out if you haven't yet. Before we get into it with the interview, though, y'all know I want to talk about neutral. At this point that I'm recording this intro, so we recorded the interview with Rachel before St. Patty's Day. Now I'm recording this intro after St. Patty's Day. And I just want to hype neutral. I did it. We'll get into it on next week's or the week after next episode about like the full St. Patty's Day recap. But I did it. I did full St. Patrick's Day with no hangover. It's the first time in my life that this has ever happened. And y'all know what I was drinking all day and all night till 4 a.m? Neutral. No hangover. Woo! Like, literally, it's a freaking miracle from the good Lord above. I could not believe it. I vlogged the whole thing. That's coming to Patreon too. But whenever I woke up, I took a little video of myself. Like, of course, my hair looked freaking crazy because we had been to the club, whatever. But I said, oh my God, my voice. I don't have a voice, but at least I don't have a hangover. Yes. Like, it's just the best. So, Neutral, I really fully credit you to the best St. Patrick's Day I've had in my entire life. They're clean, y'all. Neutral is clean. They're gluten-free. They're 100 calories. I feel like they're not super sugary. I was really enjoying all the flavors this weekend. I had the regular a lot, and then I actually found a couple places with lemonade in stock, which I was surprised about because those are popular, y'all. On the set today, I actually do have the lemonade. I have blackberry lemonade and peach lemonade. Those are 2 of my favorites. Again, I just can't hype them enough. You want a hangover-free, crisp, refreshing drink, grab a Neutral next time you're at the bar. And so, yeah, thank you so much to Neutral for supporting the Chicks and Dip podcast. I really, really appreciate it. I love you. Okay, y'all. With that, I will not ramble anymore because we've got a long, awesome interview to get to. We will jump into it with Rachel. What's up, y'all? I'm here on the set with this week's guest. She's a queen. She's tall. She's my sister. She's so hot. She's so smart. It's Weezy! It's me! Obsessed. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so glad to finally be on here.
I feel like we need to give the listeners a little bit of honesty here, don't you think?
Sure.
We need to confess to them that we have been here before.
We have.
I touched on this a little bit in a little clip that I'm putting out, like promoting the Patreon. But you guys, we've done this before. We decided to record a podcast episode the day after my birthday party.
That was a mistake.
Horrible idea. I got up and like curled my hair. I put on makeup, and even with like my like makeup as snatched as I could get it, my face was like the size of a cantaloupe swollen.
You were just hungover. I was not, because I turned out to be like the sober monitor of the night. So I was fine, but I got here and literally was trying not to have a coughing fit the whole time. So I was focusing so hard on not coughing. I couldn't even like pay attention to what was going on. And then you were like just kind of slumped in the chair, like not having it. You were just not with it. So we did the whole thing, and I immediately was like, I literally got up and I was like, that was trash.
That was her direct quote. She stands up, says, that was trash, and we left.
I feel so bad. Calvin, I think he probably thought I was a psychopath. I felt so bad. But I was just thinking about the reality of that conversation.
It just wasn't good. And
it's okay.
I was giving nothing. I was giving absolutely nothing to
it's
you.
Okay.
You were trying your best. But the thing is, like, you would get halfway through an answer, and then you'd be like,
because I was about to cough.
literally, I didn't know what you were doing. Like, I was like, is she just like not wanting to talk? And then like you finally let one go. You're like, and then it was like, like it was the floodgates of cough. Whoa. So funny. Yeah, so I'm happy that we're here. The vibes are good. Literally, like before we started recording, y'all, we sat down and I said the vibes are good.
Yes.
The vibes are much better.
Yes, we're going to speak it into existence.
Thank God.
Round two.
Thank God. I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
So, Weezy's real name is Rachel. I didn't even, I realized I did your whole introduction and didn't ever say your real name.
It's basically interchangeable at this point. Weezy, Rachel. I might as well have both on my birth certificate. It's fine.
Literally, like I got her a custom calendar, like a little like desk calendar for Christmas one year, and it says Weezy instead of Rachel. Like,
yeah. And like all of my like birthday cards, graduate, like everything. I don't think I actually have anything addressed from you in the past, I don't know, probably 15 years. That's Rachel. It's just Weez or Weezy.
Weezy.
Nothing has my legal name. I kind of love that though. I love that I have a nickname.
I do too. Your nickname is fun and cute. Like,
I know.
It's not an embarrassing one. It's just funny.
And I would like to point out that I had this nickname way before Outer Banks came along. Just for anybody that tries to say, oh, there's Weezy on Outer Banks. No, I came first.
100%. And I don't know enough history about Lil Wayne, but I would venture to say you had it before Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
I actually don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true. I think that it came way before, but yeah, he probably was like Weezy before I was even a thought.
100%. He's had Weezy for like 40 years. Like,
it's fine. I had it in spirit.
Yes.
Yeah. It didn't come from Lil Wayne either.
No.
I would just like to point that out. It actually, do you remember where it came from?
It came from SpongeBob.
It came from SpongeBob.
Y'all know the episode. If y'all are SpongeBob kids like us, you know the episode where SpongeBob, he gets a seahorse and he's... If people didn't watch SpongeBob, y'all are in for a really weird 2 minutes. SpongeBob got a seahorse in this episode, and he was hiding it at the Krusty Krab. And he, like, the horse was like whinnying, it was like, me. And so Mr. Krabs or somebody's like, what is that noise? And SpongeBob is like, oh, that was just me. Weesna. For whatever reason, that sound effect, like Weesna, it just stuck. And I said, Rachel, I'm calling you Weesna.
Yeah. And that's how it started. It started as Weesna. And then has progressed. It was like Weesna, Weez, Weeza, Weezy. So just anything in that,
Weezus.
Under that umbrella. Yeah, Weezus. It's a weird one.
It's so good. I mean, I love it. You have the best nickname ever.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that we're going to talk about today. I've teased this a little bit too. Like, Weezy's a well-rounded girl. We've got a lot to talk about. I feel like we should start with the most timely. We literally just picked up your wedding dress.
Yes. Yeah, y'all. I'm an engaged lady. That's crazy.
I know.
Shout out to Grant, my fiance.
Unreal. Like, my little sister is engaged. People, not to make it about me, have people asked you about me at all in all of this?
Well, they not so much as okay.
She said no.
No, it's not that they have asked as much about you. It's everyone knows you're my maid of honor, obviously. So it's more so they're like, I can't wait to see what like Lauren has planned for like the Bachelorette, or or what she's gonna do at the wedding or something.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to learn a trick.
I mean, I'm gonna have a celebrity at my wedding, guys.
Me! Oh my God, what if I like backflip down the aisle or something?
I feel like we'll have to call an ambulance, so I would rather not.
Damn, she said, I know you used to do flips. Not anymore. Not anymore. True. 100% true. I would break my neck.
I don't know. You can still do it, probably.
I really don't think. Not a flip. I could maybe do.
You don't think you could whip out a back handspring?
No.
Okay.
I'm dead serious.
That was
I don't think I could.
No.
I know I can do like a back bend kickover.
Okay.
But like, I think maybe I could do a back walkover, I think.
Okay.
But a back handspring, I really don't know. I think that my arms, I don't think it would be good. I think I'd break my neck.
Such a side story, but I had a friend's mom whenever I was in high school.
I've told this story on the podcast.
Yes, she thought like she was like a cheer, or she did flips and everything else growing up. And so we were out on a football field one day and she was like, "Oh, I still got it." And she did a back handspring. She did it and broke her arm in the process.
Literally, I was telling, number one, I've told that story on here, and I've told that story to someone last night. I swear to God.
No way.
I told that story last night, yeah, because someone was talking about like, it was at Cam's family's house. Like, they were talking about how, like, they used to be a cheerleader, and everybody's like, I couldn't even do a toe touch. And I was like, one time, my friend.
We were there. Yeah. We saw the whole thing.
She broke her wrist or her arm or whatever right in front of our eyes. It was horrible. She really played it cool, though. She was like, that was weird.
I know, she sure did.
She, like, drove herself to the hospital.
Could not be me.
No, if I broke my wrist in front of other people, first of all, I would be so embarrassed that I would have no choice but to cause the ultimate scene.
Oh, yeah.
You would think that I would never be able to use my arms again.
You'd have a full amputation.
Yeah. Like, because the thing about me, if I'm going to get embarrassed, I'm going to make it a whole production so that you feel bad for me. So that I'm not embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like, if I fall down, I'm either going to almost fall and collect it and be good on my feet, or
it's going to be like a full on.
I'm going to fall and collapse and hit my head on the sidewalk and roll around for a minute with a tear in my eye. And it's going to be a spectacle.
Okay.
Someone's calling me. Nothing important.
Oh. All right, then.
I'm just kidding. It is someone that I love, but it's like not an emergency. So like, we're fine.
Okay.
The way I said that, I'm like, oh,
I'm like,
don't care.
Lauren's too good for us, guys.
It is so crazy. So I asked if anybody had asked anything about me, because whenever I tell people that you're getting married, everyone is like, oh my God. And I think it's because they know I'm the older sibling.
Uh-huh.
They're like, how old is she? And so then I say like, oh, like she's 23, and they're like, oh my God, wow. Like, are you going to get married? And
No.
I'm like, first of all, don't make this about me.
Yeah.
It's Rachel's thing. But also I think it's just funny. Like I don't know. I know that like as a society, we're past that. But it is funny, people wanting to know like a status check on like my marital future.
Yeah.
Whenever you get
engaged. It's like on New Girl, whenever Nick goes home for his dad's funeral and his little brother's like, hey, Nikki, you gonna propose anytime soon? And Nick's like, buddy, this isn't like, it's not in chronological order. You can propose.
You can get married before me. It's so funny.
But that's I mean, and I guess, I don't know, whenever I came on here last time, we talked about this. But, like me and you really we're similar in so many ways, but we are very different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. Like I literally used to have like a wedding scrapbook from whenever I was like 8 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And it's something I've always dated for like a husband. I'm not a casual dater. It's not my thing. You know this about me.
Yep.
I get way too attached way too easily. So it's just... Yeah, we're just different.
Yeah. And literally you just nailed it. Like, you have dated for husbands, and I've gotten on the show and tried to explain that, like, I'll date someone and know I'm not going to marry them, and I'll still date them. What is that?
Well, it's good. You can casual date. That's so fun. See, me, if we go on a date, I'm like, either I'm in love with you or this isn't going to work.
But I love that. You know what you want, though? I mean, okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that the boys that go on dates with you, like, do you think that was a good thing in the long term? Probably in the long term.
In the long term, yes, because it's like once I mean, I've got this weird thing. Once I'm done, like once I've made up my mind or like in my gut that I'm done with somebody, like there's no waiting to feel it out if maybe this is gonna like it's that day we're breaking up.
No, literally, if Rachel comes to me and says, I'm really annoyed, I don't know if I think, or actually you've never said, I don't know if I want to keep dating. I'm really annoyed. I think I'm going to break up. You've got, I'm not kidding, T-5 hours. That's all you have, buddy. It's a wrap for you. Like, it is crazy. Yeah, and how long, like, in your brain, are you thinking about it before you voice it?
I think subconsciously I am.
Okay.
Like, I don't think, because again, it's like once in my, in my gut, I feel that. Like once it's at the forefront of my mind, it's like, bam, we're doing it. So that's what I think it's all like subconscious or something. Because like once I actually have that thought and I'm aware of that thought, I'm like, man, this ain't going to work.
You're like, I can't sit on this overnight. We need to have a coffee right now.
No, I remember my worst one was probably, which I can tell this now because I'm friends with the guy now. Like we have since made up and we're actually graduated college, really good friends. But yeah, freshman year, I went on a date with this guy and we started out the date good. Everything was fine. And we went to dinner and an improv show after. And literally, I mean, after dinner, I knew this ain't it. And I didn't even wait until the next day. He dropped me off at my dorm and I was like, so I don't think this is going to work. It was so I felt bad about that one, but I was
no, but I mean the thing is people who are dating casually are not a good match for you because that will never work out.
No.
And so if it's a casual dater and you're just cutting it off, that really doesn't affect them because they're a casual dater.
Yeah.
And if it's someone who's trying to find their wife and you know that you're not their wife, then you're doing them a favor.
That's
I think
true.
No matter how you slice it, being direct like that is great.
Yeah, hurts in the now. Yep, good for the later.
Yep. Oh my God, there's another New Girl quote. Isn't it Winston who says, oh God, what is it? It's like his birthday or something. Like, you're like rubbing alcohol. You sting in the now.
Yes, but
save me in the later.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Gosh. Because with the oh no, it was whenever the
honey roast.
No.
What is it?
Whenever he was getting interviewed for his job and they had to come do a home check, and Jess thought that she had meth, but it was just fish rocks. If y'all don't watch New Girl, y'all are very confused right now. If you do, you know what I'm talking about.
You'll know the scene. I love it. I mean, it is funny. Like we're so different. Will you tell people how you met Grant?
Yes. So
fiance.
Yes. Grant is my fiance. He is wonderful. He is an old man. So I was in my junior year of college at Georgia College State University. Whoop, whoop. If y'all don't know where that is, it's in Milledgeville, Georgia. If y'all don't know where that is, which y'all probably don't, it is right outside of Macon. What up, Milledgeville? But he actually was already graduated and working around that area. So he was just living in the area. And obviously I was going to school there. And there was a Riley Green concert at one of like the local bars there in Milledgeville. And I went with all my girlfriends and he went with a couple of his friends. And it was totally random, but we ended up just kind of like standing near each other in the crowd. And, he was kind of making eyes at me and I was kind of making eyes at him. And then I ended up turning around and making a joke about Riley Green. And then we just kind of hit it off and talked the rest of the night.
I just love it.
Yeah.
So, like, again, not trying to make it about me, but I did so good for Rachel's birthday last year. I got us Riley Green concert tickets and I got one for Grant. And like, now that y'all are getting married, that was cute as shit.
That was.
You know what I mean?
You did good.
I just love, y'all have to like, every time he comes near, y'all have to go see him.
I know.
Like,
it's just special.
An ode to y'all's meeting.
I know. And it was so funny. So we ended up, he was with two of our married friends. We're actually like all really good friends now. But we hung out with them the rest of the night, and then he drove me home and dropped me off, and he like waited to the very end of the night to like give me a good night kiss. It was so cute. Aww. But, which I don't even know if I told you this, but he asked me for my Snapchat. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's a hard no for me, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I I have Snapchat. I enjoy Snapchat to look back on the memories and send them to my friends. But some people try to like have, actual conversations over Snapchat. And I'm sorry, a picture is not worth 1,000 words. Like a selfie of you right here in your bed. Like that's not, what am I supposed to do with that?
No, I just think it's such a red flag if people communicate via someone that they're talking to or they have a crush on only via Snapchat. Like, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Snapchat exists so that everything goes away.
Yeah.
If we're trying to build a relationship, baby, I want those text messages for 20 years. I want to scroll back and have the receipts of every conversation we ever had.
Yep.
Because I care about you.
Yep. And so that's what, I was like, I don't know this man. I don't know any of his friends. I don't know anybody. So I need to make sure he can, talk and all the things. So I said, no, you cannot have my Snapchat, but you can have my phone number. And so I gave him my number.
And you know what Grant said? Wife.
He did. That was the move. He texted me the next day and he was like, is it too soon to see you again?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we saw each other again the next day. But yeah, it was history from there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can I tell a couple of stories of like whenever I knew that Grant could be in our family?
Yes.
Am I allowed to say that?
You can say one of the wedding ones.
Which one? The tank top one? Can I not say the other one?
You can say the tank top
Can
one.
I say the possum one?
Yeah.
And I'll leave out the other one?
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay. So, the hardest thing for me about having a podcast is understanding that not everyone wants to put all their core memories and entire life on the internet. It's like, why? Why don't you want that?
But also, you've got to save some jokes for the wedding party. I'm trying to help you out.
You're right, because they're all going to listen to this.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Well, you can say some, though. You'll just have to come up with some new material.
Okay,
it's fine.
Oh my God, this is going to really put the pressure on my stand-up career that's going to start at your wedding. So, Grant, like one of the first times that we hung out with him here in Savannah, we went to this event that my old job was putting on, and it was like a DJ, like EDM fest, but the crowd that was there was like all of my grown-up neighbors who have young children. So like literally at this event, y'all, there's like a DJ like crushing it on stage, great vibes, but the crowd is a picnic table full of parents who have brought a gallon milk jug full of like hunch punch, and they are sweating, taking their clothes off, going ham, falling in bushes, and they're like toddlers are running around.
It was a lot.
It was a lot to take in. So me, in that situation, I was like, this is like the Super Bowl. I'm like having a time of my life. I'm like, these people are acting like crazy people. I'm in. And Grant is a little bit more low-key, He's a little... We're different in that way. And so Grant, it was not his Super Bowl. He was like, what the fuck am I at right now? And so that really, I was like, I don't know if Grant's the one. I don't know if he's the one. He's not thinking this is so funny. And then, again... I had to check myself. I mean, this is early in the relationship. I was like, would I want my sister to date me, like in man form? I'm like, probably not. Like, we're not a love match like that. You know what I mean? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Of course, if I'm just wanting a best friend out of your husband, like that's not why you get married.
Nope.
To make your sister have a new friend,
nope.
Obviously. So I had to check myself there. Some work time goes on. Rachel's calling me, giving me updates on their relationship, and I'm starting to like Grant a lot. I'm starting to really like Grant. Then we all go to this wedding together. And y'all, in the middle of like the reception, a possum gets into the bar area. And like my aunt is on like the table screaming. People are freaking out. Like, ah! What is that? What is that? Grant, in front of my whole extended family that he's never met, like something like clicked in his brain. He walks into the bar area, bare hands, and is like, I got it. And he's with his bare hands about to capture this possum and like save our family from this possum. And for whatever reason, in that moment, I was like, he can be in this family, yeah, for sure. Like, it was so funny. And like, I mean, yes, it's a noble thing to do, handle the rodent situation. I love it. But like, the humor in it all, I think just made me love Grant.
I remember that moment too. I think at first I was like, what are you doing? And then I was like, you know what? Just go
get it with your bare hands.
Chase the possum.
It was so funny. And the next day we woke up and Grant came out for breakfast in this tank top. It was like one of those like American flag shirts like you see at NASCAR. And he had cut the sleeves off of it. And I was like, who is this guy? He's catching possums and he's wearing this cut-off tank top at breakfast. Like, that weekend, something changed for me. And I was like, I love this guy for my sister. Like, I love him.
He is a country, down-home angel of a man. He really is. That tank top, one of my favorite Grant moments. So he lives over in Alabama. And that's where I'll be moving after we get married. But so we went to Talladega for the first time this past year.
Oh my God.
Which if y'all never been to Talladega, that's a whole eye-opening experience in itself.
Talladega changed, Weezy.
It did. I saw some things, man. I saw some things. But anyways, but we went to Talladega. So this famous, white American flag t-shirt, he wears it all the time. It's a white t-shirt that's just got the American flag on it, and he cut off the sleeves.
It's an iconic thing.
Iconic.
Like, if he ever wants to get rid of it, you have to put it in like a shadow box.
Oh, he's not going to get, that thing can literally turn to shreds, and I will somehow keep it. I mean, that has been the staple of our relationship. But we were trying to figure out what we wanted to wear to Talladega. And I was like, oh, baby, wear your American flag tank top. And he was like, Rachel, I want to wear something like redneck. And I was like, and that doesn't count. He's like, why would I wear that? He was like, that's a nice shirt. I was like, Grant. So instead, he whips out from God knows where in his room. It's like some kind of other cutoff t-shirt that's about 2 sizes too small for him, and it's got an American flag and an eagle on it. I'm like, we had to add a layer. So yeah, just know the white American flag is his classy cutoff, and then he's got his Talladega cutoff, which is got the eagle.
His nice cutoff.
He was so serious.
He'll wear that
though.
to brunch. Like,
it was so precious.
See, again, more reasons why I love this man. Like, it's so funny. God. I don't know. And of course, I mean, those were like pivotal memories for me. But, like, I remember you called me one time and you were over there and like he had cooked like a salmon for you and like was like working on your car or something.
So that was actually the first time I ever went over to his house. Yes, this is another, I'm telling y'all, I got a good one. I sure did. But the first time I ever went over to Grant's house, he told me that he wanted to cook for me. And like the day before, I was complaining about going to get my oil changed because I hate it. I always embarrass myself. It's a whhole thing. But anyways, yep. And he was like, oh, well, how about I just do it for you? And I was like,
green flag.
You work on cars? You know what any of this means?
You know what an oil change is?
That's crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's hot.
I know. So, yeah, so I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is wonderful. So he like got the kind of oil that I needed, and he was like, just come over at this time and, I'll have dinner ready and whatever. So I get there. He made a steak, like a full steak dinner for me and had it set up on the table. I walked in the house and he was like, you sit down and eat your dinner. I'm going to go work on your car and then we'll watch a movie. I was like, I love you.
I'm obsessed with you.
That was like the second week I knew him. I was like, we're going to get married.
When did you know that you wanted to marry him?
So I knew probably whenever we first told each other that we loved each other. Oh so that was about 3 months in.
Well, that's not that crazy though. That's not that crazy.
No.
3 months I feel like is like a reasonable time.
Yes. So, but yeah, we've been dating now we just had like our 2 years. Mm-hmm. A good portion of that has been long distance, which has been challenging, but good. And so, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's been great.
I'm just like so jazzed. Like, y'all, first of all, I've said this on the podcast before too, but like, I'm getting a brother-in-law. I know. That is so weird.
Getting a boy in the family was crazy.
Oh my
man,
God.
I guess I should say. He's not a boy.
That's
weird.
True. He's a whole man. He's a whole ass man.
That's weird. I just called him a boy. Ew. I hate that.
Grant, sorry. Apologies.
Sorry.
Something that I forgot to say before like things got like serious. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say before. I feel like there was like a time whenever we were feeling out, like as like your family, we were like, I feel like this is getting serious. It was probably after the 3 months. And so y'all probably knew how serious it was, but we were, still wondering like, is this serious? Like, what's the vibe here?
Yeah.
And I pulled Rachel aside and I was like, Rachel, I just want you to know, like, just keep this in the back of your mind. Whoever you marry, I'd like to be able to ride in a car alone with them for like 7 hours.
Yep.
She was like, What does that mean? I said, let me break it down for you. Let me explain. I want whoever is going to be your right hand, because Rachel's my right hand, okay? Like, me and Rachel are very close.
That's true.
She's my best friend. So,
Yep.
like, whoever's going to come into this mix, I need to make sure that, like, if you're stranded 7 hours away, or maybe you're going to meet us at the vacation, I don't understand why I'd be in the car with your husband. Don't know the
You
situation.
never know.
But just in case,
Yeah.
I want to know that we can sit in silence together and it not be weird.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know that we can talk and it not be weird.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I just want someone to come in and be a part of the family.
Absolutely.
And so that's where I pulled 7 hours in a car together.
I think, honestly, that's a good indicator, though. Like, I really do think that people need to think about that whenever, whether it's a situation like this, like someone else coming into the family, or if you're, like, evaluating someone for yourself. Like, can I spend a very long amount of time with this person, like a car ride, and not have any distractions or anything? Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that's a really good indicator. I think people need to start thinking about that.
Thank you. I agree. And
Yeah.
like, that's what people always say, like, oh, if you've never traveled anywhere with your partner, like even just a weekend trip or
Yeah.
taking a flight with your partner. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. You get tired and you don't feel like talking. And that makes some people really uncomfortable. And like, if you cannot be comfortable enough to sit in silence together, then it ain't going to work.
Yeah.
It ain't going to work.
That's true.
Because there are so many days whenever I come home and I sit on the couch with Cameron and I love his presence.
Yep.
I love his energy being there, but I don't want to say a word. I want to just sit there on my phone, but we're still together.
Yeah.
And if that was uncomfortable for him or me, then like, we're not a good match.
Yeah. I will say, I think that's probably been the hardest part of long distance is like, you know, me and Grant can sit in silence. Like, we can do anything together and it be comfortable, you know, and we just enjoy each other's company. And I would love to come home and like just sit and us just be. But like, obviously, whenever he's 5 hours away, then we both get off work. We're both tired and we both call each other, like, obviously wanting to catch up, but we're both exhausted. So it's like we're kind of forcing conversation, and then there will be bouts of silence on the phone when we're just like sitting with each other's presence over the phone. But it's through the phone, so it's just really quiet. And they were like, so,
Oh my God.
I don't really have anything else to report.
That's so funny.
But you know, in like a normal situation, it's not weird to just sit there and hang out. But whenever it's over the phone, it's a little bit.
It's like,
tougher.
what am I going to do? Like, prop up the phone while I sit here and watch TV or do my homework or whatever, you know?
I will say we have done that. They like, we'll FaceTime each other, and I'll like, back in college, I'd be like doing my laundry or washing dishes, and he'd just be along for the ride.
He'd just be there. Y'all might not be talking.
I'd prop him up, and I'd be doing whatever, and then we'd like chit chat some, and then I'd get back to doing what I was doing, and we'd just hang out.
But I love that. And I also think that's clearly a good sign. Like, you know, you just be on FaceTime and we'll work it out.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for y'all. I do want to talk about the wedding planning because people think you're crazy.
I know.
So Rachel, she's going to start PA school. She's got the move coming and all this. So when did you get engaged? A couple weeks ago?
I got engaged. It's actually been officially over a month. So February 12th, got engaged. And the wedding is going to be mid-July.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So people keep on like being like, that's a tight turnaround. Like, people are making like kind of snarky comments. Like, really?
Yeah.
You've been crushing the wedding planning.
We were talking about this some earlier. Like, I don't know if it's the fact that like I don't have an option.
Yeah.
But to, you know, like get stuff going and like get some stuff figured out, which Mom, she would say, you know, that I'm not stressed enough or like I'm not worried enough about it because she's more worried about stuff than I am. But like, we really have gotten a lot done. And I don't know. It's like you just have to go out there and look for stuff. You know, like that's the biggest, I think, step in all of it is just finding stuff and contacting people. Because like it'll work. I mean, it's worked out great for us. Now, I understand not everyone it is going to be different for everybody.
Totally.
Yeah. But I mean,
my thing is, like, if you have a venue of your dreams, like you have a venue that you will not negotiate on, like you must get married at this venue, then yeah, you probably will need over a year in advance.
Yeah. See, I didn't have any, what's the word?
Like, you didn't have anywhere that was like a non-negotiable, like.
Yeah, it's like I didn't, not like any type of like hair and makeup necessarily, any venue, like nothing was non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
Like I came in with an open slate, and realistically I've heard how long wedding planning takes, so I'm like, I'm just gonna be happy with whatever I can get,
Yeah.
And so I think that mindset has helped too, because like you said, like if I did have a really specific location or caterer or whatever, I think that probably would have made this a lot harder. But I think just keeping your options open and like being grateful whenever you do find something, and also like letting all the vendors and caterers know like how thankful you are that they're working with you. I think that has been a big part of it too. Because like
100%.
the woman who owns the venue that we're going at, I mean, like she has been so wonderful. She sent me like a list of vendors, and like she's been in communication with us, like helping us out with different details and everything. And so I think just like having good communication, like people will help you out. You just gotta ask.
Totally. And oh my God, y'all, we had this whole conversation like on speakerphone the other day. It was me and Rachel and my mom in the car, and we had this DJ that was recommended.
Yes.
And so we all called him, and he was not available, but he was so nice. And he was like, I'm going to make some calls for you. He didn't even like send us phone numbers. He made calls to people that he would recommend. And then we found a DJ.
Like immediate, like, and he did it. What was even more impressive, he did it right then. Like 10 minutes later, we got a call from another DJ and was like, hey, so-and-so just called me and, said that y'all are looking for somebody. And we were like, hold the phone.
That
like,
took 2
what?
seconds.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't know if you had your heart set on that specific DJ, like, I don't know. I mean, I get it. People have their heart set on things or whatever. But like, if that had just like ruined your whole thing, like the whole experience would be different. But like, you just like rolling with the punches. Like, you got a great DJ out of this.
Yeah.
Easy recommendation. Wonderful people. Great conversation.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, okay, on to the next. And also, like, I don't know. There are so many people out there. So if you do have your mindset on one particular thing, like, try not to get so crushed about it, because there are so many vendors and people out there. You just have to look.
yeah.
Dude, I've been doing some major Instagram stalking. Like
Really?
that's how I've been doing a lot of, especially for hair and makeup.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like, because I did have one girl in particular who I was hoping to do my hair and makeup, and unfortunately she wasn't available, but she, recommended some people, and then like through her page, I just stalked people that she's worked with and like gone down all different kinds of, little rabbit holes, but I found people, so it worked.
Yeah, and you're going to look amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I never expected you to be like Bridezilla, but you have been like really chill. Like, you're just kind of rolling with it. But you're getting shit done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm determined to not let myself get stressed over it.
That's good. Because it's supposed to be fun. The whole thing's supposed to be fun.
I don't want to.
I don't remember who I was talking to. I think it was one of my photographer friends. But I was asking just like, like, what's the vibe on the wedding day? Like, behind the scenes of all of the smiles and stuff. And it is just like crazy to hear some of these stories of like the people who get so worked up that their wedding day is like the worst, most stressful day of their life. Like, I just don't foresee that being you ever.
No. Well, I mean, you know me. I've literally dreamt of my wedding since I was like teeny tiny.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. That's another thing throughout this whole experience. I'm like, this is my time to enjoy it. Something that I've always wanted to do. So
yeah, girl, this is the one you get.
I know. So I don't want it to be miserable.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Well, I can't wait. I've gotten a sneak preview from she's told me what's on the food menu. That's important, and it sounds fire flames. I'm so
We're gonna be eating good. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Any other wedding things that you want to talk about?
Oh goodness. I know I'm getting married in South Georgia in July. And if one more person asks me if there will be AC, I'm a nut up. This is going to be my one Bridezilla moment. I have never in my life have more people ask about air conditioning than whenever I mention that I'm getting married in July in Valdosta, which I get it. But like, I'm not trying to make people have heat strokes out there. Like, we have our grandparents coming. Do you think I'm going to let people sit out there in like 100-degree heat with no source of cooling? No.
Can I tell you, that's one of the first things that people say to me after they ask if I'm getting married next. Then they say, where's she getting married? I say Valdosta. And they go, oh, when? I say July. And they go, Valdosta in July.
It's like, oh, no.
Whoa.
I'm like, okay, fix your face. Fix your face.
Can we please talk about the music? Please.
Yes. So my sweet mama. Hey, mama.
Mom is a character on this show. One day she's going to get in the hot seat and clear her name.
She is. Sweet mom. I'm not talking bad. But like I said, mom has been a little bit more stressed about the wedding than me.
Naturally.
Fair. But the other day, she brought up this music that she had seen that another girl did for her wedding, with people walking down the aisle. And it was very traditional and stately and, something like Kate Middleton would walk down the aisle too.
Yep.
Love her. Queen. Love to be her. I'm not. So I just have a different vibe that I think I want to go for. And I was trying to explain it to mom. First of all, whenever I said, I don't know if this is really me, she was like, oh. And then
if you're audio only, that was stank face.
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm thinking about something like maybe do like an acoustic cover of something, like some kind of, country instrumental. Y'all, whenever the word country came out of my mouth, I got the biggest stank face from her I have ever seen. I mean, for people on the camera, she went, I was like, oh?
That's the most dramatic response.
Yes. I said, Mama, what? And she said, I'm telling you right now, you are not walking down the aisle to Morgan Wallen. I said, did I say I was going to walk down the aisle to Morgan Wallen? No. No.
I'm begging you, like during the rehearsal, please play Morgan Wallen and just see what mom does.
I'm gonna start like, I'm gonna have some whiskey glasses. Mom's gonna be like, cut it off. This is wrong.
The way you suggested a country acoustic and she immediately assumed Morgan Wallen is so funny.
Oh, like love Morgan Wallen, but like,
great.
Did I say that? Did those words come out of my mouth? No.
Oh God.
So this is, we're not going to be Cotton Eye Joan it down the aisle.
Girl, floor it. Do it. Just go. I will pick up my dress and.
Are we going to be Cotton Eye Joan at the reception? Absolutely. 1,000%.
Totally. Do you have like a top 5 songs, like the instrumental version, or have you even narrowed it down that much?
I've got some. I haven't. It's hard to find instrumental.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for a slow acoustic, maybe some strings in there, and it's kind of hard to find some of them. So I found a couple that I like, but I gotta look and see what else is out there.
Oh my God! Yeah. You know the song that in the last Twilight Bella walks down the aisle to? You know what I'm talking about?
1,000 Years. Yes, I do. By Christina Perry. Isn't that her name?
I think so.
Jesus.
One time me and Cameron.
I would die every day.
One time we were drunk and we were talking about wedding stuff, and
God.
he said that he wanted.
Oh no.
If he gets married again, for her to walk down the aisle the way they did in Twilight, and he was messing with me, but my face, literally your face right now, I was like, I beg your pardon. You want to do Twilight? What? It was so. And I think I drunk tweeted something trying to explain what just happened. I was like, Cameron just said he wanted to walk down the aisle to 1,000 Years by Christina Perry, like Twilight. And the next day I woke up and I had put a GIF with it that didn't make sense, and I had misspelled Twilight. I was like, delete. Oh my God. It was funnier in person. You had to be there.
Oh God.
So funny. Okay, so we all know Christina Perry's off the list. Damn it.
I'm not gonna lie though, I'm pretty sure I did have that pinned as a song though whenever I was 15.
Oh, I did too, 100%. I watched that movie and I was like, this is my dream.
And I was like, this is it.
Oh my God.
This is happening.
Or maybe a acoustic version of a Paramore song. Yes! Bitch! Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
So yes, we're still working on it.
Morgan Wallen and Christina Perry. You know what?
What a
They're
duo.
they're maybes. I'm not going to veto it yet.
Yeah.
They're hard maybes.
Yeah. We can maybe convince Mom.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
Other thing. Are you ready to pivot from wedding stuff?
Sure. Can I take a hot
I have
30
to pee
seconds
too.
and pee?
Should we pee?
Yeah. Ready?
Here, you go and I'll tell a story and then we can trade off.
Okay. All right.
Go. Go.
Ha.
Look, Calvin, you don't even have to cut this. I'm just going to take the reins. So I'm actually going to, well, you know what? We're going to touch on this. Every single episode, I go to a coffee shop before and I get the Vietnamese iced coffee. I've told you about this before. It's like, I've never done cocaine, but if I ever had, then that's apparently what this coffee is like. It gives you just a sudden burst of energy and I can talk a mile a minute. It's great for podcasting. However, it makes you have to pee. And so today me and Rachel both got one and I was like, this is a horrible idea. Like I knew, but we needed to pick me up. You know, we're recording in the afternoon. It's like in the 3 o'clock hour, y'all. Like that's whenever you get sleepy. It's wonderful though. I just love having Rachel on here. She's the freaking best ever. And all the wedding stuff. I mean, I feel like I could literally ask her 100,000 questions, but like I mentioned up top, she's a well-rounded gal. So we're actually about to get into. It's funny that she's peeing right now because we're actually about to talk about her bladder problems. We'll explain her bladder problems and like some PMS stuff. So like this is like gonna take a medical turn, but it's gonna be really fun. I'm explaining that we're about to talk about pee here. I'm gonna go ahead and pee too. Okay. All right, you have about 30 seconds. Okay. You can tell any story you want.
Wow.
I talked about coffee the whole time. Go.
I have such freedom. Go, go, go. I'm going to time you. I don't have a watch on, but that's okay. Oh, that was actually quick for me. I'm glad I didn't have a bodysuit on. Have y'all ever had to go to the bathroom like a onesie or like a bodysuit on? Guys, probably not. That's okay. But ladies, y'all feel me. And it's the most difficult thing to try to get like halfway undressed and have to go pee. It takes so long. But anyways, thankfully we don't have to do that today. I'm trying to think of like some dirt that I can tell about Lauren. Got a lot of things. We've had a lot of time together. Unfortunately, she's the fastest peer in the world, so I don't have any time to tell you a fun story.
What were you going to tell?
I don't know. I was thinking. I've got a lot of stories I could tell.
I didn't even wash my hands or tuck my shirt back in.
How dare you?
I don't care. I'm like, we're the only people in this whole building right now. I'll wash them after whatever. I'll sanitize this mic. Also, I don't pee on my hands.
Yeah, you might.
I don't pee on my hands. That's the thing. Like, also, you know what? Here's something that I actually want to question.
Lord.
Because I live with a man, right?
Yeah.
I've been around boys. I feel like women wash their hands after they pee more than boys. And boys actually have to touch their peen. You know what I mean? Like we don't actually make any contact. They do, and they're the ones out here not washing their hands.
That's a valid point. I think it depends on the man, though.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure Grant is a husband material man. Does he wash his hands?
He washes his hands.
Cameron washes his hands too, but like I just,
there are some guys though who just don't.
I've just seen men just shake around and just move on, not even wash their hands.
Whatever. I ain't about that.
I would never. I mean,
wash your hands. It's like rule number 1.
Wash your hands.
General health.
You learn it in kindergarten, preschool even. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna pivot. Do you want to start with bladder things or
sure?
PMS?
Since we were just talking about
let's do it.
Peeing.
So I don't even know how to intro this. Rachel's got a bladder thing.
Yeah. So intro, guys. I have overactive bladder. Woo! Yes. So I've got overactive bladder, or bladder spasms, whichever you want to call it. I'm not an expert in this, so please don't refer to me as an expert in any of this. I just have my personal experience for the time being.
Well, and that's like why we decided to talk about it. I mean, not just to like be like, here's like a fun random personal information about my sister, but like I actually I told you I was getting my hair done and like my hairstylist was telling me about her friend who like literally like peed herself at a restaurant or something. And so like I think there's a lot of people out there who are curious but also like have this.
Yes. So pretty much like I guess probably most of my life growing up, like I would be fine one minute and then literally out of nowhere, it's like I had to sprint to a bathroom. Otherwise, I was like going to pee my pants. And what's crazy is I thought this was normal. Like legit, I thought everyone was just on the verge of peeing themselves like 5 times a day, like me, you know? And I just thought it was normal until finally one day, like I talked to mom about it and I was like, but this is like normal, right? She was like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
All right.
So you're not like, you're telling me like, okay, cool.
When did you have that conversation with her?
It wasn't until my junior year of high school.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I remember. Like whenever
Mm-hmm.
you played softball, like you would have to like run in the bathroom like in the game or
I
something.
literally one time I was pitching. I was a pitcher and whenever I played softball, and one time I was pitching, I literally had to call a timeout and go to the bathroom in the middle like of an inning. Yeah.
How did you? I mean, I'm not even asking this in like a mean, funny way.
No.
Like, how did you like not realize that like your other people around you were not having to pee like that?
I don't know.
I guess I wouldn't really notice other people's pee patterns.
I mean, yeah, no. It's like not something you really pay attention to.
Yeah.
And it's not something I've talked about with anybody either. So it's like until I talked to somebody about it, I had no idea.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it finally got to the point though, like, it's embarrassing. Like I peed myself in dance school. No one knew. It was fine. I checked myself out immediately. It was my junior year. It's whatever.
Yeah. No, but like, were you like, how did you feel when that happened?
It was horrible.
I mean, I would have probably cried.
Oh yeah, I did cry. And that's whenever I immediately, I called my mom and asked them to call the front office and tell them I was sick. And I checked myself out of school. Like it was horrible.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so that's when I came home and I was like, why am I like this? And that's whenever mom was like, this isn't like, we can go talk to a doctor about this. Like, this isn't normal.
Yeah.
And so we did. And it was literally the best thing ever. It was so easy. I got put on this medication. Shout out to oxybutynin.
Sponsor the show.
Sponsor the show. And of course there's different medications and different, like, I know like there's like exercise that you can actually do to help. Like if it's like a muscular problem, you can like strengthen your pelvic floor and all that, whatever. But, but yeah, for me, like the medicine it worked wonders. And it was like, as soon as I got on that, I was like, oh my, is this how it's supposed to be?
Right?
I was like, this is amazing. I've got control of my bladder. I don't have to like be near a bathroom all the time.
Yeah.
So it was great.
I mean, like thinking about like, I feel like hydration, like whenever you get to be a grown person is like so important for like your energy and stuff. Like, oh my God, if you had never gotten that checked out, like, do you think that you would have been dehydrated because you weren't drinking water?
Well, okay, so crazy enough, and this still happens now. So it's a balancing act because if I drink too much water, then obviously I'd pee all the time. But if I'm dehydrated, it irritates my bladder more, so I'll have like more spasms.
Oh my God.
Yes, so it's like I kind of have to find a balance. I've learned, which I don't know if that's everyone's experience, but that's like with mine. Like if I'm dehydrated, then my bladder just gets like really irritated.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Like, I think about, like, whenever I'm, like, super dehydrated or something, it almost feels like I'm about to get a UTI.
Yes.
Like, you feel like you have to pee and there's nothing.
Yes.
That's crazy.
But it's, like, a lot. Like, that's how it is, like, all the time whenever I don't drink enough water and so, like, whenever that happens, I immediately, like, chug water.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Until I'm good.
Yep. That's something about Rachel. Like, she will try to deal with something in her own brain and body. Like, you have to pull information out of her.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like whenever, like, to me, whenever I think about your life, like, the bladder thing was huge. Like, do you feel like that helped you at least be, like, more open to, like, talking to mom or your friends or me or something about, like, if there's something weird going on?
I think so. I mean, I think it's still hard because same situation. I'm so bad about thinking things are normal, which this probably isn't just me. I mean, and whenever something happens to you all the time or like something is normal to you, then what is going to make you think that it's not normal,
Yeah.
Until you're like faced with something like your breaking point and you're like, okay, something's got to give here,
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it's been for me with different things. But I do think it's helped though. And just with me getting older, I feel like that's just helped too.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Like, even like something as so common as like stress.
Yeah.
Like the way stress will like take a toll on like your body or your behavior or something. Like, I think that if you like don't ever like just like be honest for a second with a friend or somebody, like you would probably never know like, oh, like, I don't know. That's not normal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And so another fun thing about Rachel's pelvic region, your crazy PMS. I'm kidding.
It's legit, guys.
Look, explain it to people because literally, like, PMS is such a... I don't even know the word. Like, I don't feel like it's taboo, but almost, like people will chop anything up to crazy PMS, you know, like any kind of irritation. Oh, are you about to start your period? Like, people love to throw that out there. And I'm even guilty of doing that. Like, I just assume if I'm in a bad mood, I must be around my period. And sometimes that's not the case. But like, explain the whole situation to people.
Yes. So I have actually got what's called PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And it's essentially extreme PMS to the point where you like can experience like symptoms of depression and that sort of thing, like severe, around your period. So like for me, it would be really, really bad like the week before, basically the week before and up until like I would get my period. And then once I got my period, it would usually be fine. But like, it's more, again, I thought it was normal, which, PMS is normal. Everyone experienced it to some degree. And like for me, I'm lucky in the fact that I don't really have cramps or, that sort of thing. I don't have a whole lot of physical stuff that comes around my period. Like some of my friends, I had a friend who literally like her period would make her pass out.
Oh my God, I remember that. Her cramps would be so bad she'd faint.
She'd literally faint. Yeah, so thankfully I don't have any of that. I just act like a psychopath. So that's fun. But like for me, so all throughout, like since I got my period, I would have a cycle to where I would get so irritated over the smallest things and like full on lash out at people. Like people that I cared about. I've lashed out at you. I lashed out at mom. Like, it's bad. And then I like take a step back and realize there was no reason to do that. That was so uncalled for. And it's like, I don't even know where that came from in myself. And then I'll cry for an hour about it because I feel horrible about what I just did. And so then it's like a never ending cycle and you slowly just feel horrible about all of it. And you feel like you don't have any control. And so it's just not good. So anyways, that had been going on for like years. And finally it was like same kind of thing. I just like reached a breaking point with it one day and finally talked to mom about it. And so she was like, all right, let's go talk again. Same thing. Let's go talk to your doctor about it. And so that's whenever I first went on birth control. And it was specifically for trying to get my emotions under control. And I had to try 3 different kinds before I found the one, 4th time's charm.
Jeez.
Yeah. So anyone out there, if you feel like it's a struggle, I get it. I've been there. But yes, 4th one was a charm. Just stick with it. You'll find your one.
Girl. I had to go through, it was the same exact one, but it was like the 1.5 versus the 2 on like the dosage. And what sucks about trying to find a birth control specifically is it's minimum, is it 3 months that you have to stick with it to try it for?
Oh gosh. It's supposed to be something around there.
Yeah, I think it's like at least 3 months, maybe even longer. I don't know, but
yeah.
For 3 months, I'm having a period every day.
Yeah.
Like this clearly isn't the one. And they're like, it'll even out. And if it doesn't, then we'll change it.
Yeah.
So, having to go through 3 of those, that's like over a year.
Yeah.
That sucks.
There was, I think the first one that I was on was like 6 months and it gave me like really bad acne and it wasn't really helping the PMS. And then the second one, gave me migraines every day. So I actually only stayed on that one for a month because it was horrible. As soon as I started taking it, it was migraines every single day. Then third one, what was that one? That one actually did give me cramps and same thing, didn't really help with the PMS. And then finally we got to the 4th one. But yeah, it was like a year before.
I think that is unfortunately so relatable. Like people with periods, like it's just a struggle.
Yeah.
And specifically with birth control. It's so tricky.
And the thing, it's like nothing wrong that, like, it's not anything with the doctor or anything like that. It's just everyone's bodies are so different. And so it is just, you have to just do like some trial and error and figure out what works for you. Yeah. And they started me on the one that I started on was the one that you were on. Because they're like, since we're sisters, it might be one that works for me. Didn't work. Then they moved me to the one that mom was on. Same thing, didn't work. And so there was, good reasoning to try me on those. But, for some reason, it still just didn't work. So,
yeah. I hear a lot of stuff, and I'm not researched at all. But, of course, I hear all of these, like, freak stories. And I don't even know if they're freak stories. But, like, of people who've been on birth control for 10 years. And then they come off and, like, it like has wreaked havoc on their body, like they can't get pregnant or whatever. And like sometimes that really freaks me out because whenever I turn 28, that will be 10 years that I've been on birth control.
Yeah.
10 years. Yeah. That's crazy. And right. I love it. Like that's my preferred method of birth control. I don't love the idea of the thing in your arm. I don't love an IUD. I've just heard a lot of stories of that being bad. And I don't want to do a shot because once you get the shot, it's in your, like, you can't get it out, you know? So I just think that for me and my schedule and my life, it's what I want to do. But it does freak me out hearing stories of, like, people having real problems afterwards.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've thought about other methods just because, science, I like to look into other things. But realistically, the way that I am emotionally and, like, how it affects my emotions so much, I would be very hesitant to do something like a shot or something, you know, like the arm bar or something like that, because that's something that is in you for a while. So and if it doesn't work out, then it's like you just have to deal with it for a little bit, you know.
That's what I'm saying. The pill, if it's bad, you can just stop.
Yeah,
we're good. Whenever like you went to the doctor and she like explained like PMDD, like how did she explain it to you? Like, did it feel like a relief whenever she was like saying what it is?
Yes. Whenever like there was, to know that there was like an actual name for this and I wasn't just crazy. Because that's, I mean, that's what it felt like. I felt like I was literally going crazy because it was like I felt so out of control of like my own emotions towards other people and towards myself. And it was just happening every single month, all the time. And so, yeah, to be able to go and have that validated, like, this is a legit thing. There is a diagnosis for it. So many other women have had to deal with the same thing. That in itself was like helpful to me, you know, like knowing that it was actually something legit.
Well, and probably at least having a diagnosis, like whenever you knew your period was going to be coming up in the month, like at least just having awareness, like this is something that is going to happen. Yep. I'm sure that was just comforting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also helped too, because obviously I talked to like you and Mom about it, and like people who I'm close with, so like they kind of know too. And like y'all would help me whenever I had bad days. Like y'all would remind me, like, this isn't, you know, this is your period. Like this is your, you know, that out of control emotional feeling. Like you're gonna get past it. You know.
Well, that's what, like, being on the other side of it, like whenever you would be like so worked up about something, it was like, it was helpful to know, because of course if I just like validated all your feelings and like amped you up, I feel like that would have probably made it worse.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, before we knew it was going on, just being like, why are you acting like this? Is also not good.
Yeah.
So like just having something to have the compassion and validate you because we know what's going on, like was helpful in just like communicating with you. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
I don't know.
Yeah. And bless, I've had some good, y'all, you and Mom, the whole family. I've had some good friends. I've put some sweet men through the ringer.
That one. The hallway.
So let's throw it back to high school real quick. Let's add some humor to this. Here's the thing. Looking back, like, there have been moments that have been very, very tough, and I'm not afraid to speak on that too. But looking back now that I'm through it, this is so funny to look back on.
Well, and then that's like why we even, again, like this isn't just like, let's share some weird TMI information about Rachel. Like,
no.
Like this is something that people go through. Like women, there's a lot of women who deal with this. And like if we don't be honest about it in all aspects. And honest about the fact that now some of this shit is funny.
Yes.
We have to do that.
Yeah. Because it was psychotic. And it was so there was 2 times specifically I'm thinking about in the high school, because that's whenever it was like really bad because I didn't know what was up.
Yeah.
And so my sweet high school boyfriend at the time,
Angel,
he would come. I would like do my mascara in my car every morning, and he would come and get in the car with me, and then we'd walk in together. And I was doing my mascara, and I had the Lumineers playing. It was very serene. And he gets in and immediately unplugs my phone and starts playing his music. And y'all, it was like World War III started. Like, it was the end of everything. I was like
Rachel, if you're audio only, Rachel just shot her eyes open in like the craziest way.
It was psychotic. Something flipped in me. And I was like, who do you think you are?
Oh, shit.
Changing my, what are you doing?
This is my car.
And I was like, this is my time. I am listening to my music. Did I say you could change my music? I mean, it was insane. And he was like, whoa, what is happening? And I just kept on going and going and going. And then we were getting out of the car, and I was slamming all the doors whenever I was getting my bags out. And it was psychotic. And then he tried to like hold my hand, and I like yanked it away. And I was like, no. And he goes, we're not going to do that.
Oh no, that's gonna set it off even more.
And I was pissed. And so I just walked in front of him the whole time until we got to our first class. I was so mad, raging. And then I sat in class for about 5 minutes and realized how crazy I just acted and how mean I just was to my sweet boyfriend. And then I cried for an hour and a half through class in front of everybody.
Like, it is so funny, but like the fallout of that, like recognizing like, why did I just do that? I mean, like, it makes me feel so sad because like,
It was
I bet you
horrible.
felt crazy.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, because it was like I was like looking outside at like another person. I was like, what just
Why did I do
happened
that?
to me? Yeah, it was like I turned into like the Hulk for a second.
Literally,
and then
like,
we
black
came
out.
back. Yeah, and then we like come back to normal. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. Oh my God,
What
that's the
did I
perfect way to
just
describe
do?
it.
Yeah. And then another time I wore this cutie little skirt. It was my senior year, and I had like a good little friend group that I sat with every day in my calculus class, first thing in the morning, okay? And we all knew each other pretty good. We were good friends. So anyways, I wore a cute little skirt to school. It was appropriate. I would like to point that out, okay?
Also, dress code is so dated at schools, whatever.
Yes, it was appropriate, okay? And I was wearing little tights underneath it. Wasn't showing anything. It was so cute. Anyways, but my teacher... Or another, not my teacher, but another, was it my teacher? No, it was another teacher in the hall. Stopped me and was like, hey, I'm not going to say anything right now, but I think your skirt is like a little bit short, so I don't think you should wear that again. And literally, I didn't get in trouble. Nothing was like, she was just saying, don't wear it again. Like, it was fine. But I sat in that class and cried throughout the entire class.
Oh my God.
Yes. And my sweet friends, like, people were kind of looking back at me because I was so upset. And they were just like, just let her be.
Let her crack.
Just leave her.
Oh.
Yeah. So they like had my back. It was cute.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But yeah.
But
so
like,
it would be like that kind of stuff. And like out in public, no control.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you were, and now even, I mean, maybe like then and now we can like get both answers, but like now that you know what's going on, like whenever like you have dated people and like whenever you started dating Grant, like how do you explain what's going on to your boyfriend? Because like I think all the women listening will understand even if they don't have that,
Yeah.
you know, like I feel like they'll get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like how do you explain that to your boyfriend?
With men, it is harder because they just like no fault to their own, but they don't have a uterus. Like they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. You know, like there's a reason they don't get it. You
Yeah.
know, it's not like they're just being ignorant. Like they just genuinely
Can't understand
Yeah,
it
they
the same
cannot
way.
understand it. And so that has been like a challenge. Grant has had to learn, like in the beginning, he would tell me like, oh, you just need to like change your mindset.
Buddy. That's sweet.
That didn't work out.
That's cute.
Well, for him. So
Cute.
cute. Let me just, you know.
Let's just be positive.
Yeah, how about I should have just been positive for like the past 5 years? Crazy. Hate that. So yeah, that's never just say, oh, just be positive.
Just change your
Just
mindset.
forget about it.
Just choose to be happy today.
No. Nope. Yeah. So that's kind of how it started, and he quickly learned that no, that's not how to address it.
Mm-hmm.
And he since then has learned again. He doesn't know what it feels like, but he has gotten really good about he can recognize a little bit whenever it's happening, or he can at least recognize like what's going on,
Yeah.
like what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten good about being like, you know, about to start my period, and he's like, what do you need from me?
Oh.
You know, so while he doesn't necessarily understand it, he understands that he can be supportive.
Totally right.
You know, yeah,
I've even just like being aware and like understanding that this is something that you deal with, like is huge. You know,
Yeah.
rather than just thinking that you're making it up or whatever.
yes,
I bet that also helps, like explaining to your boyfriend what's going on. Just saying it's PMS is just kind of like this big picture thing, but like actually having a diagnosis and something they can look up, I'm sure is also very helpful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like it's helpful for them too because it is hard for someone. You know, like for me, I'll have days sometimes for a period where it's like full on like depression. Like I am not interested in anything. Like I'm not really happy towards anything. I'm not really sad towards anything. I feel like I'm just kind of like a shell of myself.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And it lasts for a couple days and then I'm okay. You know, and that's really hard to try to explain to someone without that verbiage. And like, that's why it's so nice to be like, this is a legit thing. You can read about it. You can look it up. Because sometimes it is hard to explain, especially when you're in that headspace. Because like, you don't even really know how to even get the words out during that time, you know?
Right. And it sounds, and just hearing from you talk to me about how you feel on those days, it sounds like you're exhausted. And so like, you don't even probably want to try to explain to someone what you're feeling.
It's just... it's just weird because it's like mentally you're exhausted because you're just like beating yourself up the whole day because you're not feeling like yourself and you're not wanting to do anything. And then you recognize that you don't want to do anything. So you beat yourself up about not wanting to do anything. And it's just this never
It's all
ending
connected.
cycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. But again, being able to recognize this is temporary, we're going to get past it is very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So ladies, if you feel crazy, you're not.
You're not.
You're not.
Period.
Period.
Pun intended.
That.
Period.
Oh God.
I'm done. So I don't want to like assume and like put like words in your mouth or whatever, but like you are gonna like you've been working as like a medical assistant and like, you know, like you're interested in that sphere. Like, do you feel like your experience with having like good doctors who've like helped you through this, like, do you feel like that like not motivates, but like makes you excited to like be someone who can help other people?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like I have had like really great doctors. And just like medical professionals in general, like nurses, you know, it's just everybody like have been so wonderful to me. And so that definitely is very, very motivating. And then on the flip side, like working as a medical assistant, I've gotten to talk to so many patients and, you know, some patients have come to us after having a not great experience at another place. And it's heartbreaking because like think about it, whenever you go to the doctor, you're like in your most vulnerable state.
Oh, yeah.
Like
more vulnerable than gagging, you guys.
Yeah. Well, they see you gag too.
Ew, they do.
My doctor saw me projectile vomit on my prom night and then I worked with him. So, you know, like that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, like you can't really hide anything.
Yeah.
You can try, but like your body tells a story. It tells what's going on with you, you know? And so people come to the doctor in a vulnerable place. And if they feel, you know, like that trust is broken or anything like that, thankfully I have not had to deal with that, but I cannot imagine, you know? And we've seen people like that and it's just nice to be able to then get them like a safe space, you know?
Totally.
So that's what my number one thing. Yeah. For those of y'all, I'm going to PA school, just FYI. So that's what, as a future medical professional, my number one thing is like establishing trust and like just providing compassionate care.
Yeah. I mean, I can just see like if you have a daughter one day and she has any touch of this, like I just think that you're going to be like so well equipped because like you did go to our mom and she helped you find answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the medical people around you helped you find answers. Like that's just cool.
Yeah. And that's what it's so funny. Like, I don't know why, looking back, and even still, I don't know why I've had such a difficult time talking about all this stuff because number one, y'all have always been such a wonderful support system. Like, family has been great. And then also, like, my, like, medical people in my life have been wonderful. And thinking about it too, like, any friends or, like, patients or anything who have, like, come to talk to me about any kind of medical anything or mental stuff or whatever it is, like, I've never had any judgments or anything like that. So it's like, why do I automatically assume that that's what it's going to be? I don't know. No, but something I need to work on probably.
I think that's like a really relatable, normal thing though. Like I mean, I'm kind of an open book. Like I'll just like tell people whatever. But like, I mean, that's about some things. Like on some things I can be quite prideful. I've talked about that before too, you know, but then I mean, I think there's just people who just want to be okay. Like I don't think that they like the idea of being vulnerable enough to ask someone for help or say that like they're not feeling 100% like they're putting on. I think that's totally normal.
So that's why I've been really trying to work hard at kind of reminding myself like, hey, would you ever have this kind of reaction to someone else or would you ever judge anyone else? And it's like, no. So, you know,
like a really,
believe in other people that they're going to be good, you know?
Yeah. I think that that's a good mindset to be in. Like if there's someone out there who is listening who like has something that they know is not right and they're scared to talk to someone, like literally think if someone came to me and said, this is what's going on, like you would not be an asshole to them.
Yeah.
So assume the best of the people you care about.
Yeah. And if someone is a jerk to you, then they're a jerk. That's not your problem. That's their problem.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Something also that I think is so cool, and this one, like, it's hard to explain, but, like, our mom, like, she always tells us, like, she, like, wants to, like, always talk to us about, like, the girly things and, like, the emotional things that come with just being a woman, but also that come with, like, aging and stuff. You know, like, she has talked to us about, like, you know, how just times have changed. Like, we didn't talk so much about, like, this, like, PMDD. I feel like if we had been 50 years earlier, like, people would have no idea.
Yeah.
And if you went to someone, they'd be like, you just have PMS.
Yeah.
Like, and so I just, like, have loved, I mean, I hate that you've gone through this, but I've loved the conversations that have come out of, like, being more in tune with our bodies from this. And then our mom getting involved in explaining, like, you know, I didn't know what was happening with my body when I turned 30, 40, 50, you know, like, just how being a woman is just, it's a lot. There's a lot of change that happened all throughout your life. And so I've appreciated the dialogue that's come out of this.
Yes. Agreed.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm going to be calling mom for every new stage of life and be like, help.
Literally,
Help me, mama.
help me, mama. I hope she's keeping a journal. I really do. Like,
yes.
I need a chapter on 30. That's what I'm approaching. And then I'd like a chapter on, like, post baby, and then, like, 40 and 50 and menopause. Like, I need all of it.
Yeah.
She should write a book.
And gift it to us for Christmas.
Literally. Write us a book about all of our womanly future.
Like the American Girl doll book but for adults.
Dude, free idea. What is that freaking book called? Oh my God.
Everyone had it.
Everyone had it.
Oh my gosh.
This is killing me. I have to look it up or else I'm, like, gonna, like, lose my mind.
I mean, everyone had it.
American Girl doll puberty book. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
You find it?
Hold on, it's loading, you guys.
Let's see.
The care and keeping of you.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, this, like, makes me feel nostalgic. Look at the cover. Oh, this was the
all
sweetest.
of them in their little bath towels. Yep.
Look, they've, like, revamped it. Oh,
sweet.
The body book for girls.
Yep.
Obsessed.
Yep.
Okay, look, they have a part 2 apparently. They need a part 3 that's for adults specifically.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'd read it.
What is it? What is it? Care for you?
We literally just
forget that.
The care and keeping of you.
The care and keeping of you for ages 30 to 60.
Adults. You know what? This is a actual good idea. American Girl should, like, have a podcast, but, like, maybe they could rebrand from American Girl, whatever, but whoever owns it, they should do a podcast called, like, The Care and Keeping of You. And that could be where they get, like, women's health information out.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. American Girl.
Free idea. I'm going to clip this and send it to him. Be like, hire me, please. Hire 3 Chicks Media to produce this show. Jace.
Yes.
That's a good idea. Oh,
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about that stuff?
About PMDD and bladder and all the fun things?
Yeah.
Again, all of it can feel like a lot whenever you're going through it. But now I feel like I'm kind of on the flip side. There's still some stuff going on. PMDD is an ongoing thing. While the birth control helps, I still have to deal with it. But just talk to your people. Easier said than done, but talk to your people and look back and laugh, because there will be a lot of laughable moments.
We will laugh.
We will laugh.
And whenever someone reaches for your hand, you will always remember snatching it away.
Snatch. The most dramatic. Yeah.
That's good advice.
Yes.
I think that's great advice. And that applies, I think, to any kind of physical or mental health struggle. I think that's just solid advice. Like, hang in there.
Yep.
Sucks.
It's
hang in there.
Hang in there. I know that's the worst thing to hear. Just keep going.
Keep going. It'll get better. But, like, that's what I love to have these conversations for. Like, we can be honest. Like, this is an ongoing struggle. Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
We're rocking and rolling.
We sure are.
Riding the wave.
I'm telling you what. Mental health is so fascinating. Like, I have so many episodes because, I mean, I've talked about my eyelash thing before. Like, that is a mental health thing. And it's so specific.
Yeah.
And it involves my eyelashes.
Yeah.
And then yours involves your uterus.
Yeah.
And then there's other people out there who would involve, you know, like, it's just crazy how, like, mental health is so broad and it can, like, manifest in such random physical ways. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Weird. Well, thanks for sharing all that.
Yeah. No problem.
It's, like, fun to interview somebody that, like, I've been through all this with.
I know.
To, like,
You've,
ask
like,
you
seen the
questions.
flip side.
I know.
It's crazy.
I'm glad that you share that with people, though. I think that people will be.
Yeah. I hope someone out there can relate, and hopefully this Warms your heart a little bit.
Oh, warms your heart and warms your uterus. Am I right, ladies?
Right. Woo. Women.
Like, literally. So me and Rachel, y'all need to look up Bridget Fetisi. She's a comedian, and she like does this thing. She'll like just I mean I'm gonna like butcher all of it, but like she does this thing whenever she's like talking about like women's like rights or whatever, or even just like women things, like women doing cool things, and she just goes women, and like the way she says it has stuck with me and Rachel so much. Where were we at the other day? We were like in a parking lot.
We were.
Where were we?
Oh gosh, it was.
Or were we on the phone?
No, we were trying to. It was me, you, and Mom. We were like trying to park the car or something, and it was tragic. Like it was truly tragic. It took all three of us to get it in this parking spot or something like that.
That's what it was. We were. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, we were leaving. Some like a man really pissed me off recently. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how we are not stupid. We are not whatever.
Yeah.
And we were all like working each other up. And then something freaking happened, and it was a stupid moment.
It had to do with the car.
I think it did too. Oh my god, I cannot remember what it was. But literally, like we did the dumbest thing, and me and Rachel both go, "Women!" It's so fun. Honestly, parallel parking is a good time to do it. You do a 18-point turn. Women!
Yeah, it's just good to let it.
It's funny. It's like poking fun at yourself.
Yes,
It's a good laugh.
I love it. Yeah.
Okay, I asked a version of this to all the guests.
Okay.
Normally, it's someone who's out of their 20s, and I say if you could tell your like 20-year-old self like something, but you are younger than me. You're 23.
Yeah.
So maybe let me like rephrase it in a way of like tell the 20-something-year-old listeners like what's something that you've already learned in your 20s. We'll start there.
Oh, you didn't prepare me for this question.
didn't.
You didn't prepare for any of them, but
I didn't tell her anything we were going to talk about
no.
today.
So this is really fun. Oh gosh.
You just gave a lot of good advice about some big
I
things.
know. Okay. So another big thing. Was I in my 20s whenever this happened? Was I 20 whenever I quit softball?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played college softball for a year, and decided to quit after my freshman year playing. And it was the first time that I had a real like big mental health thing after I quit, because I like didn't know what to do with myself, because I was like my whole life. And
Can you like briefly explain like why you quit? You know, like
so I
not details, but you know.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I absolutely love the girls. And it wasn't a matter of like, you know, whenever people say like, oh, college sport is like a job, it really is. But that wasn't like, it wasn't a matter of that. I didn't mind working hard or anything like that. But it was more so, it was just like a really negative environment, which is sad because it's like something that I literally worked my whole life for. And then I get to like the pinnacle of my, you know, softball career, and it's just like negative all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't what you expected, I think.
No, not at
all.
all.
A good way to phrase it.
Yeah, not at all. And
I mean, literally your whole life, like that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I started playing softball whenever I was 11 and made up my mind then that I was going to play college softball. And so it was a dream, and then I get there, and it's just not what I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And that was like honestly heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I was miserable a good portion of it. Like there was a lot of good that came out of it. Don't get me wrong. Like there really was. I met great people, and I did have really awesome experiences. But there was a lot of time too that I just struggled. I mean, you know, the first month of college, I literally called home crying every single day.
We thought you were going to have to come back.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, no shade on that. I know plenty of people who had to take a minute, go back home, and then try it again. We thought that's what we were getting at.
Yeah. So it was just... Yeah, it was just not what I expected. And so I'm really glad that I did it. Really glad that I, you know, was able to play for that 1 year. But I took a step back and was like, I only get 4 years. And I did this for 1 year. And I'm thankful. But I also recognize a good part of this year, I was just not, I was miserable.
Yeah.
And so I decided to quit. And it was rough. It was very rough. Because that was like... You know, me and my dad are really, really close. And a lot of that comes from softball just because he was like my coach, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was heartbreaking for him because it was like a loss of, you know, part of his life too.
That's what, like, softball at that intense of a level, whenever you are working up to college, like, it wasn't just like your hobby. It was like a part of your identity and your relationship with our dad.
Yeah.
Like, it was deep in the family.
And I feel like it was a part of his identity too. So
100%.
it was, me quitting, kind of pulling the rug out from underneath him, and then me going through like this identity crisis. It was just a lot all at once. And so that's what I had, a really big my first like real mental struggle that stemmed from the PMDD and then just ended up turning into like this whole other thing. But so that was like, that felt like the end of everything for me. Like I was like, I don't have a purpose anymore. I'm a disappointment. I'm a failure, and looking back now, I'm like, it's crazy that I thought that I had that mindset. Yeah. But in the moment, like, it was such a big deal. So I will say, and I've always been that kind of person, I've always been very, very tough on myself and kind of had an all or nothing mentality, which in some situations is good, some not as great.
Yeah, well, and that's the tricky part about it. I've heard other people say this, like on podcasts and things, like people who are great are in that mentality. It's all or nothing. Like, and I will say that about like you and your work ethic and stuff. Like, when you decide to do something, bitch, you do it. Like, and so you were all in on the softball. So I see where when that goes away, you're like, what do I have now?
Yeah.
Like,
and it was tough because it was like my choice. And so I struggled with the fact that it was like, I did this to myself.
Right.
Like,
it wasn't an injury or something.
No, like I did it. I made that choice and that I had to live with consequences of it, which ultimately great things came out of it. I became a tutor in college after. I met so many, people that I wouldn't have gotten to meet, and it ended up being a great thing.
Yeah.
But in the moment of that, it felt like everything was just falling apart. And so I think the biggest thing has been to, that I've learned since then and like really tried to work on is not having such an all or nothing mentality. Like still keeping part of it, because like you said, it drives a good work ethic for me.
Yeah.
I feel like it, gives me a lot of motivation. But, for my mental health, just remembering that things will be okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think that's great to work on. And that's what I mean whenever I said the thing about people who are great. I mean, like there's a picture of Kobe Bryant on the wall right now. Like, that's like, I think that people who want to make something their entire life and then they sacrifice family or they sacrifice everything else, like, and that can be a consequence of being all or nothing.
Yeah.
And so for you to learn at an early age, like or not to learn, but to recognize that like you want a more balanced life. I think that's really great that it happened whenever you were young and able to make decisions.
Yeah.
Like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think that if you had gotten through 4 years being miserable just for the sake of this is what I've always said I'm going to do, then you would probably look back with more regret.
Yeah. And that's another, I guess, that kind of makes me think of another point too. Like, you might have something in your mind for, planned out ahead. For that, I thought I was going to be a college softball player all 4 years. And sometimes things just don't work out the way you think they're going to. And it can be really hard, really disappointing. But it's okay.
It will be all right.
Yes, that's how life works. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And other opportunities will present themselves.
Yeah. And I mean, it was really, really hard. Like, it was just like a weird, like, couple of months, like, within the family. It was weird not having the softball and experiencing, like, me and mom experiencing your heartbreak and dad's heartbreak and stuff like that. But, like, you and dad's relationship, y'all are still besties. You know what I mean? Like, that's
I am still 100%.
Yeah.
We went through a rough patch because we didn't know what to do. Neither of us. He didn't know how to communicate that, he was experiencing a loss.
He was heartbroken.
He didn't know how to communicate that. I didn't receive it well. I'll tell you that.
Rachel's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And I'm mad.
Yep. And I'm mad. And I'm sad.
Yep.
And it's my fault. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you came out of it and can now, I mean, we just like joked about it, like softball is on our house or on TV in our house
all the time.
Like, we still have that thing, and no matter what the thing would have been, like, it doesn't change like the core relationships that like you have built with people in your life.
And that's what I think in the moment I thought it was. Like, I think that was the biggest thing. I was like, oh my gosh, me and dad's relationship will never be the same. And I was like wigging out. Yeah. I was like, oh, I've broken the family.
I broke up our family.
Like, don't get me wrong. Am I a important piece of the puzzle? Yeah. But me quitting who was I to think that that was going to break up our family? I'm sorry. But who do I think that I am to think that me quitting a sport was going to break up the Wolverton family? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a little dramatic sometimes. And so what I've learned so far is I need to calm down.
Well, and I love this mentality. Rachel said, I'm the glue. The foundation of this whole family is me, the youngest child. Okay.
Like what?
That's some shit I would say.
Yeah, I know. Who am I? It's not that serious.
Without me and my hobby, this family has nothing.
I know. That's what, looking back, why did I think that? That was so dumb.
No, but that's real. That's real. And when you're so in something and you're so in a big, like, to me, it kind of boils down to making a big, frankly, life-changing decision. And that's change. And change is very hard whenever you're the one initiating it. And so, again, Rachel's spitting nothing but relatable stories out here. I think that's relatable to people. Like, when you're so close to a big change and you're the one doing it, it can feel like just anxiety that your whole life is going to fall apart. And, like, you've got to recognize, like, it will be okay.
Yes.
There's, like, few things that will be life-changing where it won't be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, something big, like crime or something. Like, murder.
Okay.
That might not be ever okay.
God.
I mean, I'm trying to just like think on like a big
like
here.
something traumatic.
What's like, you know, a change that you could do that would truly life change and it would never be okay. Yes, exactly. But like just hard decisions that you have to make in life, they'll pretty much always be okay.
Yes.
I said, like murder. What? Lord. I chose to quit
going
softball.
for trauma, but you jumped to murder.
Decisions. You know, like if you make the decision to start committing serious crimes, that could not be ever okay.
I thought you were talking about like a murder happening to your family. You're talking about murdering someone?
Yes, I'm saying because you initiated the change.
God. So you initiated this change to go murder people?
Yeah, that's a decision. You get what I'm saying?
No.
Oh, Lord. Brooks is calling me. He's on his way here. Hold on. Hello.
Hey, did you get my text?
No, let me look. Sorry, me and Rachel are literally, you're on the podcast.
Brooks, you're on the pod.
We're literally recording right now. Oh, no, you won't be. You're good. Okay. Oh, you got, okay, cool. Brooks, if y'all can't hear it on the mic, Brooks is calling me. He's coming for St. Patrick's Day. And he sent me a text saying that they're going to be late. And then he goes, okay, cool, I got liquor. That's amazing.
Alrighty.
Well, here, I'll call you back after we wrap.
Alrighty, see ya.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Anyways,
Sweet,
sorry, you guys. He was all worried that traffic was going to make us late for our events later
We'll
tonight.
be all right.
I said, we're fine.
Yeah, we're okay.
But
Murder.
anyway, murder. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I meant it. Let me explain what I meant.
Okay.
I meant like there are a few changes that you can make in your life that will not resolve themselves out, I think. So like you making the decision to quit softball, it felt like your world was falling apart. You will be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, me making the decision to quit my first job that I thought was my dream job. It felt horrible and really scary, and it turned out to be okay.
Yeah.
If someone makes the decision to commit violent crime, it probably will not be okay.
Okay, I see.
You see what I'm saying?
I see where you're going. Sorry, I was so confused. But yes,
That's all that I meant. Like, no matter what changes you make, unless there's something crazy like violent crime,
like
it will all be all right.
Breaking Bad.
Exactly.
Like
That's a decision.
That's a decision that
wasn't.
it's just hard. You can't get out of that.
You can't get
Once
out
you
of
start cooking meth, you're in it.
Yeah, that's a decision that probably won't be all right in the end. So as long as you're not cooking meth, I
should be
think
fine.
Your decision making will settle down. It will simmer down, and we will be okay. Boom!
Bam! That's what we've been talking about over chips and dip.
Yes! Rachel, that was a gorgeous way to end this.
Thank you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, I had a whole other question queued up, but I think maybe I'm gonna wrap or I'm gonna end it there.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna ask it.
I was gonna say, I
it was like
kinda
a
know.
second part to like I had asked you what you had learned, and so
Okay.
the other question is like, what do you? You know, again, we're sitting here talking about how you never know what life's going to throw at you.
Yeah.
But like, what do you hope for like the next couple years of your 20s?
Gosh, I've got a lot of big changes coming up. So I'm gonna be a wife. I'm starting PA school, all within a month of each other.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
about that.
I'm sure.
So definitely learning how to deal with that and just how to balance.
Yeah.
Is going to be really. I think I do. Like, I balance school and softball and social life very, very well, but I think it's going to be a whole nother level of PA school and marriage.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the trial and error and all the things to come in learning how to balance all that.
Girl, trial and error is what the show is all about. I feel like that could wrap up your 20s. Like,
yeah.
It's all trial and error. We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And you'll have days where you're like, that was a flop. And then you'll have days where you're like, that worked.
Yeah.
And
It was like
okay.
our first recording. That was a flop.
Oh!
But this one, we're feeling good.
This one has been stunning. That first one, garbage. Error. This one, success.
Yes.
Yes. That was a great comparison.
Thank you.
Wow. Recording with my sister. It's just like life.
Okay.
Ups and downs. I also brought up on like I haven't put it out yet, but I was like doing a little episode to like tease. At this point, the people will have heard it. But I did bring up the fact that the only good thing that came from that first episode was us laughing about Tuck Everlasting and how they're not cute anymore.
I thought they were so cute back in the day.
I really did. I asked Calvin if he had seen that movie, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Actually, I don't think you'd like it. Like, honestly, I don't even think I'd like it."
As an adult, I would love to go back and watch some of the movies I was obsessed with as a kid and see if they still have the same effect.
I think they'd all be ruined. Like, I wish
I
I could go back
know.
to being like 10 and watch
Yeah.
Tuck Everlasting one time and then come back to my life.
Listen, I still stand with the fact that Peter from the Chronicles of Narnia is hot. And I will forever think that.
He was hot, and we looked him up, right? Like he. I mean,
You roasted me a little bit when we looked him up.
look. When
We also have different taste in men.
that's true. Whenever we pulled him up, I agree with you that he was cute, he was hot, whatever. But like when we pulled him up now, I was like, really? He's just kind of vanilla.
I think he's still good looking.
Like I feel like, like Mr. Tumnus with his like beard. I feel like weirdly that could be more my type.
He's kind of like Cameron.
Oh my god, he is pretty hairy and a little weird. He's got goat legs, like there's something a little
hairy and a little weird.
Is my type pretty hairy and a little weird? Actually, that kind of makes sense. Like if you've got facial hair, cha-ching. If you're like a little bit weird, cha-ching. Wow, I think we just nailed it. You know what? I'm retiring. Me and Rachel used to say, if you look like you might have sold drugs in your life, that's my type. But I'm going to retire that. I'm going to retire that because now I feel like there's all kind. You can look like anything and sell drugs. I don't know. So I'm going to retire that. And I'm going to say my type is pretty hairy and a little weird.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Rachel's is Peter from Chronicles of Narnia or Grant.
Mine's tall, dark, handsome, or ginger.
That's true. Tall, dark, handsome, must have American flag shirt. Bonus points if it has an eagle. Put a ring on it, baby. That eagle shirt. Woo!
Hey.
Obsessed. Obsessed. All right.
Man,
Anything else you want the people to know?
I do have one thing.
What?
I've held on to the secret, and I've been waiting for a moment to share it. You know what the secret is.
Oh my God, I thought that you meant you were withholding it from me.
No, I don't. I can't keep a secret.
What is it?
So, y'all, back whenever Pitch Perfect was a thing, there was this app called Acapella. And I thought that I was gonna one day be the real life Pitch Perfect. The real life Barton Bellas. And so I downloaded this app. And for those of y'all who don't know, you can make several recordings of yourself singing different parts of a song and put them, over each other and basically make your own acapella.
You put it on a loop.
Yeah. And out of all the songs in the world, I chose the intro to G-Eazy's.
They can't hear you. Rachel picked the intro. It's literally called intro to G-Eazy's When It's Dark Out album. How old were you? I was like 13. Rachel was 13. Actually, no. That album came out on my birthday when I was 19. So you were
No!
15 or 16.
No!
It came out on my birthday, my freshman year of college. Yep.
Okay, I was 15.
Oh my God. She said she was 15. You would have been 16.
So much worse.
She said it makes it worse. So literally the song, do you want to sing it? Do you want to sing it now? I think that we'll get taken off Spotify if we try to sing more than like 10 seconds of it actually. So we can't. Should we, can you give us the video? Yes, y'all are in for a freaking treat. Please go to the Instagram to view this video. We were in the car. When was that, last year? Last year, and Rachel downloaded, we got to talking about this, and Rachel downloaded the acapella app. And she was like, I bet it like deletes everything. It doesn't. She logged into her account and she had this acapella video. And it is so funny. Me and Rachel were peeing ourselves in my car, like literally crying, laughing. Oh my God.
So, yeah, that's what I'm going to leave y'all with. A gift to you.
A gift. Please go to the Instagram. This is a treat for you. Oh my God, Rachel, I'm obsessed. Tell people where to find you if they want to find you.
If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram as what am I? Rachel_Wolverton? I think so. Okay.
I don't know. I'm Lauren like _ Wolverton.
Just go in her followers and you'll look me up. You'll find me. Rachel Wolverton, that's me. I don't have a huge social media presence, but if y'all feel like being friends, come on and join the party.
Send her a message, really, for real. Acapella aside, if you like feel like you have any, like, I mean, again, Rachel's not a doctor, but like questions or like you feel like this resonated with you, Rachel is an open book. So
absolutely.
Send her a message.
Yeah.
Send me a message, whatever.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Being so funny and opening up.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here.
All right, I am too. I'll take it out. Again, follow Rachel on social media. You can follow me at Lauren_Wolverton and the show at Chicks and Dip Pod. Please share this episode. I feel like this one's going to do like really well. I think that people are going to just love you.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I think I'm biased, but if you love this episode, if you love Rachel as much as me, please share the show. New episodes drop every single Monday, bright and early. We're as a video show on YouTube and Spotify, and we are available as an audio show on Spotify, Apple, Google, literally anywhere you can get a podcast. Please don't forget, subscribe to the Patreon. I have some really fun bonus content coming out. Actually, tomorrow we're filming an entire St. Patrick's Day vlog. So by the time this episode drops, hopefully that'll be up. If not, it'll be out in a few days. But $5 a month gets you at least 3 bonus episodes every single month. And usually it's going to be more than that because I'm addicted to content creation. So you got plenty of extra content. Connect with us. Connect with me. Please subscribe to the Patreon, y'all. That means a lot to me. So with that, y'all have a great week.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Woo woo. Bye, y'all.